Hey guys, what's going on? This is going to be another sub video. Now, I really thought hard about what I should do. Well, first of all, this week I was going to do another roster prediction video, but I found out that they're not doing one this week, I guess because it's All-Star Weekend coming up. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to hold off the roster prediction video, go ahead and do that next week, which isn't really, it might work out well because I have a lot of players written down. I'm going to kind of expand on some players that didn't get upgrades a few weeks ago. So I think that will be a good video. I think for the last roster prediction, I know I didn't get every single one correct, but I think for the most part, a lot of them were correct. I know I missed a few, and I just want to say that I want to thank you guys because a lot of you guys, gave me some players to look at. The hardest part about doing the roster prediction videos is looking at the players that deserve the upgrades or downgrades. You can almost look at every player and nitpick here and there, but you really got to find the ones that really deserve that change in their attributes. So I appreciate the help. The only thing I will say is if you guys can recommend some possible downgrades, some more downgrades. There really wasn't too many downgrades that you guys wanted me to look at, and there were a few players that got downgraded. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this video. So I have a ton of ideas, honestly, for these tip videos. Some of them are going to be kind of vague. Some of them are going to be more specific. I have ideas for future videos, like such as how to hit knuckleballers, how to hit a slider, how to hit Kershaw or Sell. It's just an example. But some of these are going to be kind of more vague and kind of just show you guys or tell you guys more or less what I'm thinking when I'm playing. And I decided to go ahead and do another one today, kind of on pitching. It kind of applies to pitching and hitting, and it's talking about how to control pace/tempo online. And you're probably thinking to yourself, what is this really going to make me better? I think it can. I think this is one of the things that kind of makes me a little bit better in certain areas than other people. Like I don't think I'm like the best player, based off purely hand-eye and reflexes and all that. But I think a lot of these little things add up that kind of give me slight advantages in the long run. So first of all, this really applies to hitting or pitching. You want to control pace and tempo. So what does that mean? That means whether you're pitching or hitting, you want to be in charge. You have to pick up on your opponent's tendencies. Again, whether it's pitching or hitting. First, let me change. I got this on pulse. I don't know why. So first, let's just talk about pitching controlling pace. All right, if you have runners on, here's what I'm talking about. Here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be one of these guys that gets the ball and throws it every single time, just like this. All right, I'm going to select my pitch. I'm going to slide step every single time runners on. This is how I pitch. I have no pace, no tempo, nothing. It gets kind of obvious. All right, you definitely don't want to do that. There's a few people that's all they do is slide step. I don't recommend doing it every time for a few reasons. One, you're going to be inaccurate. Two, they're going to start to pick up on your delivery a little bit easier. You want to kind of use both deliveries. So I mean that's just another way to give yourself an advantage while pitching. The next thing you don't want to do is some people get in a habit of, if some people will try to quick pitch you, for example, they might just pitch normal until they get to 2 strikes. And then every time they get to 2 strikes, they might quick pitch you, fastball up and in. You know what's coming. All right, again, that's part of pace. And pace, not only does it apply to the hitter, it also applies to base running. And these are things you want to pick up on. So, first of all, let's just talk about hitting. Here's a little tip. All right, when you're pitching, here's something you can do. You can quick pitch here and there, but mix up your pace. And here's what I'm talking about. All right, I've quick pitched them. I started them off with a strike, whatever. This time, come set, hold the ball for a while. All right, and then, go with a breaking ball. Okay? And then next time, I hold the ball for a while and go with a fastball. You know what I'm saying? Mix up your pace, but also mix up your pitches when you're adjusting your pace. And this also can be a way that people tip away their pitches. Now I don't know if you realize, but some people, like when it gets to be a full count and they slow themselves down, you almost always know they're trying to spot a fastball. They're trying to spot a pitch. Usually it's a fastball. Not always the case. It really depends person to person, but you can pick those things up. Well, he's slowing himself down, so I know he's going to come with a fastball here because he's trying to be accurate and pinpoint. And I would say most people probably use analog. So those are little things. I'm not saying every time somebody slows themselves down they're throwing a fastball on them, but I'm saying start to try to recognize some of those tendencies. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're pitching, slow yourself down and mix up pitches. Also, when you try to quick pitch somebody, whether it's a slide step pitch or just regular windup, mix up your pitches. Last time I quick pitched him, I threw him a high fastball up and in. This time I'm going to quick pitch him, and here I'll just start all over. Well, this time I'm going to quick pitch him on the first pitch. Just to make things up, and I'll throw a changeup up and in or something like that. It's all about controlling pace. Now, I really feel like hitters can get in a rhythm if you just, say you don't even slide step. Say you just choose your pitch, and you don't really slide step. I mean, obviously, if you never slide step, your opponent's going to pick that up, and definitely, keep your eye on your opponents. If they're never slide stepping, definitely try to steal off them a little bit more. But some people just don't side step. They get the ball, pick their pitch, and go every time. There's nothing. They're mixing it up. It's the same pace every time. All right, get the ball, pitch it. Every single time. All right. You may not know what pitch is coming, but as a hitter, you can start to get in a rhythm. You almost get comfortable. Like, all right, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. There he's going. Hold the ball sometimes, make him think. Not only can it mess him up while they're batting, but it also can mess them up while they're trying to steal. And also when you're pitching, mix up your slide steps, mix up your pitch outs. Don't do it every single time. I don't like to do it on the first pitch. Pitch outs unless you really know your opponent's super aggressive. And the same thing if you're trying to steal. I normally don't like to go on first pitch unless I know my opponent is just not paying attention at all and they never slide step. So little things like that, whether you're hitting, pitching, or you're running the bases, you always want to keep it in the back of your head. How's the pace going? What's my opponent doing to kind of pick up any tendencies? I thought this would be a kind of a cool video. I mean, the editing, there's really not going to be any editing in this video. Sometimes these videos aren't going to be, they don't have to be edited. It's more about, kind of my mindset of playing. And I know some people, this might be obvious to some people, some of these videos might not apply to everybody, but, I think this might be able to help some of you guys, because I know a lot of you guys, a lot of people get in a habit of doing the same thing over and over and over and over, whether it's their hitting approach, their pitching, or their pace, their base running. Just slow the game down, let it come to you, and try to control the pace and tempo, whether you're hitting or pitching. So we talked about, what can we do as a pitcher to control pace? Well, what can you do as a hitter to control pace? Well, there's a few things you can do. You get one check swing attempt, or practice swing, whatever you want to call it, where you wave your bat. You get one attempt per plate appearance per player. Mix those up too. Sometimes I like to do it when it's 2 strikes. I really like to think, especially if they're quick pitching me, you have that tool in your arsenal to try to slow the game down a little bit. And I guess I could show you guys from a hitter's perspective here what I'm talking about. So we'll go ahead and do that really quick. I'll just keep talking. There's really not much to show you. You guys know how to practice swing X, circle, or square. But, mix it up. Sometimes whether you get 2 strikes, sometimes it's full count. Just, let the game come to you. Try to control their pace. Something else you can do, if you really feel like somebody's quick pitching you the whole game and they're slide stepping every single time, I'm not really condoning this type of play, but I really feel like if they're, quick pitching you and slide stepping you a ton, you do have R2. You can hold R2 to slow them down. Again, I don't really suggest doing that every single time because I know it is kind of frowned upon in the MLB community. I'm not really suggesting that at all. I'm just saying if they're quick pitching you a ton, I have nothing against somebody holding R2 and slowing them down. I mean, it is all about pace and tempo. In a real baseball game, I don't think you can call timeout online. Maybe you can. I think they took that out, but you used to be able to. That used to be another tool in your arsenal, but they took that out. If you really feel like somebody's quick pitching you, you can hold R2. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it. And again, I don't recommend doing it every single time. If they're just getting the ball and they're not slide stepping and they're just getting the ball and pitching, I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that. But you do have that as a weapon. Also, when you're batting, make sure you pay attention to your base running. Again, if they're not mixing up their slide steps or their tempo, if they never hold the ball, if they just get the ball and go every single time and they're not slide stepping, definitely recognize that. It's really easy to steal on somebody if they just pick their pitch and pitch it every time with no delay in between that. So, again, as a pitcher, you want to hold the ball sometimes. Sometimes just sit there and hold the ball. And when I coached baseball, I would tell I would tell my players to do this. I would sit there and tell them, just hold the ball and step off the mound. I know, that might not do much, but little things like that can kind of be not necessarily annoyances, but they can be ways to kind of gather yourself and collect yourself and give yourself a little bit more time to think while you're playing a game. Something else you can do is, you can hit start, pause, which is kind of like calling a timeout, and check the pitch analysis. So that's another way to control tempo, pace. I know that's kind of weird. I know this video is kind of different, but I'm really trying to go through everything in these videos, so I have to come with a lot of different ideas for you guys. So basically, the gist behind this video, though, is you can control the pace and tempo of the game, whether you're pitching or hitting. This should always be your goal. You should never let your opponent quick pitch you over and over and over. All right, and one final thing I want to talk about, and I already talked about this for pitching, but mix up your pace not only to hold runners, but when you throw your pitches too. And I went over that a ton, but I will just hit it one more time. So, if you're throwing fastballs, if you're just getting the ball and throwing it, quick pitching, make sure you're mixing up off speed in there as well. Make sure when you hold the ball, sometimes it's nice to hold the ball, especially when there's a full count, an important pitch coming up. Hold the ball a little bit, make them think, and say the time before you went with the fastball, this time go with an off speed, or go with another fastball. I don't know. Just try to mix things up. Don't get too predictable. So that's basically what I'm trying to say, and try to control the tempo and pace of the game. I know this is kind of a weird video, so I'm curious to see if it'll help you guys or not. But we have a lot of these videos to go through, trust me. And I really didn't get many ideas. Like, I kept asking you guys for feedback and ideas, and I only got a few people on Twitter that gave me a few ideas, but they were, I don't know, some of them were be kind of hard to go through. But and if there's if there's really any specific videos you guys want me to focus on, please let me know. Like, if you can't hit Sell, or you can't hit Chapman, or something like that, or if you want to learn how to hit with Dawson or Trout or something, or if you want to learn an approach, anything, any ideas, guys, we can literally go through them, whether it's vague or really specific. Anyways, I hope this video helped. Give me feedback on the video, guys. I know I know this is more of a mental thing rather than kind of giving you a tip of like PCI placement or something like that. This is kind of a mental thing, and I think even though this is a video game, I think being able to control tempo and give you these slight mental advantages online can add up in the long run. Anyways, thanks for watching. Next week we should have a roster prediction video. I will say, though, let me know if they're doing a roster update next week. I think they are, but if they're not, we might hold it off another week and do another tip video. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and again, thanks for subbing. And if you guys are having trouble getting the videos, let me know. DM me on Twitter. If you're not getting the emails or whatever, let me know, and I'll add your email to another distro, and I'll make sure I'll get it to you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Peace.